Noir, yeah. So you, man, well, today we're talking about the education system. You know, something we've all been through, all of our listeners have been through some form of education system, whether it's in this country or another country. And some people are lucky enough to experience education in different countries. You know what I'm saying? So, today we're going to analyze the education system and we're going to talk about our own personal experiences and how we feel education system in this country is being handled. But firstly, we've got a special guest today, a very special guest, fam. G, introduce yourself, bro.
Okay, well, my name's Nathan. I'm 19. I've been relating like the rest of these guys. And just hopped on today to speak about the education system, something I'm passionate about.
I'm not gonna let you leave the uni, fam. What are you studying, fam? What are you studying, bro?
I study material science and engineering at Oxford.
That's my guy. See this guy, fam. This guy, he came in today. He didn't say the uni to no one, fam. I make him say it live, fam. But yeah, man. Today we're missing one podcast member, Andrick. He's currently out, but the show must go on. So, one thing I do want to let everyone do today, like straight away, is I say just analyze your own personal experiences, like in the past about education system. So, I'm just wondering, how do you man feel education was? I say we stick it to a GCSE basis for now.
Personally, I'd like to go first because I feel like, because I think you guys went to the state. I don't know, Nate, did you go to Newman? Nah, yeah. So the majority of us here went to Newman. I went to a different school. Let me not bait out there.
So you can bait out our school. You went to Leland's.
Anyway, I went to a high school where there wasn't a lot of black African students. Like the majority, it was black Caribbean. So I feel like I might have had a different experience to you guys. Whereas in the majority of black Caribbean students in the UK, as a reality, they don't perform that well.
Yeah.
And that's not even just in comparison to black African students. That's just in comparison to everyone. Yeah. So at school, I was academically, I did well, but I feel like because I wasn't at a school with more black African students or something like that, me doing well was it was exaggerated a bit.
Okay, yeah. Fair enough.
And I noticed that when I came to your sixth form, where there was more black African students, and then I was kind of just more of, okay, I'm good, I'm intelligent, I'm doing well, but it's normal. Do you know what I mean? And that's when it was
there's a higher level.
Yeah. So my experience in education, it was alright. I'm not gonna lie, my teachers, they did encourage me.
Yeah.
But I would say that was more because I was one of the students that was kind of bad, but because I did academically well, you know, there was them students where you got a little bit of special treatment. So because I was doing academically well, but I was one of them students, I kind of got a little bit of extra help, I'd say. But I think that's just personal to me. I wouldn't say overall most black students experience that. Yeah, but that's just me.
Yeah, fair enough. Anyone else? Anyone else?
Nah, I'll open. Basically, with me, to get out there, I was in a position of privilege back at GCSE. I was fortunate enough to get a music scholar at a private school up in Bedford. So, with my educational experience, even though I was at a good school, it wasn't amazing for interest imagination, and we did struggle to make the P's even though I had a scholarship. But at the end of the day, when it came to GCSEs, I didn't feel as a black student I was underestimated in some areas. I can't lie to you. There was some bits, especially I remember with English. Growing up, I've always been good at maths, but English was never my strong point. And when it came to GCSE,
I feel that.
Yeah, my mum was pushing me. My mum knows she's working hard to push these P's in it to make sure I get an education. So she's saying, no, we have to get an A in English. And these times I was working probably a high C, maybe a low B in it. So these times, I remember it was in English, and I used to be that joking it, never really listening, just, don't really care like that, innit? So yeah, man, and I remember teachers, every single parent scene, be a thing where teachers telling my mum, oh, your son's okay, she's not going to do that well, but hey, that's his ability, innit? But in two, I was so lucky because one of my other teachers, so that was my English literature teacher, then my English language teacher, she was a bit younger and she was a bit like nice in it. And I remember she was like to me, you know what, Nathan, like if you want to put the hours in, like after school, and like, you know, do extra work, I'll help you in it, and I hope you get to that stage where you can do well. So yeah, man, like there were some teachers that were just a bit, you know, a bit anti, but at the same time there were some teachers that were willing to help me. But yeah, I do think there was a certain racism element, because again, like other students was never a thing where their ability was questioned, but on mine it was always a bit, you know, can you really do it? Kind of thing, do you understand? But yeah, that was just me with GCSEs.
Fair enough. So Kamal, you mentioned when you were talking about your personal experience, the whole thing that statistically Black Caribbeans do the worst, like compared to like every other race. Yeah. So I'm just wondering if I could ask you, why do you think that is, fam? Because obviously we're not from Caribbean descent, so I'm wondering, do you know why that is? But
if I'm going off my small bit of knowledge, I'd say it has a lot. To be honest, when I speak about this, I normally compare it to like Black African.
Okay, yeah.
I like it helps. So I'd say in comparison, the families don't push as much.
Yeah.
Like even my parents, they pushed me. They wanted me to do well, but compared to like some of my African friends, like nowhere near. Like they encouraged me, but they weren't like, you have to go and you have to bang the grades, or else like what else is there for you? Do you know what I mean? You know, for me that kind of helped me because there wasn't a lot of pressure. But I'd say that is a big thing around it, and then obviously I don't really like speaking about this one as much because it's a big stereotype. But there's you know, when you talk about the Black family not being like together, like having the Black dad, the Black mum and stuff, it's usually the Black Caribbean families that are broken up.
Yeah,
and that can, not having a dad or a mum in the house can have a massive effect on someone's life, not just on the education perspective. So I'd say that has a lot to do with it. And then obviously, so you've got the battles at home that you have to now overcome, and then you go to school, and as a Black woman or a Black man or a boy or girl, you've got to now overcome like the obstacles that are in front of you. Do you know what I mean? Because you're going to be underestimated. You're going to be studying a curriculum that isn't suited to you and your culture. Do you know what I mean? So I just think it's a combination of things like that.
Yeah, no, fair enough. No, that's a fair analysis, bro. But, because what I was thinking, I obviously haven't been to Caribbean. I haven't spoken to many Caribbean parents. But what I'm thinking about, it might be like the labour force there. Because I know when it comes to Africa, one reason that, because obviously when it comes to African mentality in school, failure is not an option. You know what I'm saying? Right. Even for kids that are failing, their parents are onto them. You know what I'm saying? I think that threat of getting sent back to the motherland is key, fam. Gee, whether that should be a threat that we're talking about, that's for another episode, isn't it? Like, whether that should be a bad thing. But yeah, I did want to speak about, because it comes to the African labour force, what it was, is that we came from farmers, innit? Like, we used to work our own land and this, that, the other. Like, we've always been doing stuff for ourselves agriculturally. And then it became a time in Africa where people now want to work in offices. You know what I'm saying? Like, people want to be the lawyers, people want to be accountants. So I'm thinking it must have come from that, like, that mentality in Africa that being a farmer, not that it's bad, innit? Because it's probably what most people are doing, but that there's a higher level to that.
No, but in all forms of societies and cultures, like, farming is seen as the lesser profession, so that would make sense.
Yeah, I was going to jump on that because even like, I can speak for Uganda because that's where my family's from. Like, there's certain professions in Uganda where if you do that profession, you are guaranteed to kind of get paid decently. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But even then, like, there's still some professions that we consider in the UK to be calm, like, for example, teaching. That's a great profession to go down. But in Uganda, that's not seen as a profession that you can do viably because again, teachers are not really paid that much in it. Like, if you're going to the police force, again, you're not getting paid much. But if you're a lawyer, if you're a doctor, you're getting paid in it. So that's why I feel like certain African parents, they only see like very narrow like pathways that you go down. Like, you have to be a lawyer or a doctor, or do economics and go to finance because that's what they see in it. Because they don't see like, teaching back home is not really like a big job. I've heard speaking about like, obviously in the UK there's a lot more different jobs that people can do that like maybe our African parents are not like open to because
Yeah.
they really see that as a viable option.
I mean, if we're speaking about going back to like the origins of where this might have come from, like I guess you could maybe say in the Caribbean, colonialism might have had a bigger effect on like the attitudes of like the people in terms of, I don't want to say make like just how hard you work or what you're aiming for. I don't know. I'm not even like saying I know the facts. I'm just saying this might have been something that, you know what I mean. So yeah.
Maybe no one knows the facts. That's what I'm saying. It's probably that generationally deep that
Yeah,
no
and that's
one
why
really
it's so hard for
get
us
to
as
the
black
point.
people to fix a lot of the institutional problems.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
But yeah, so now when it comes to the whole pushing thing, parents can push you. You can push yourself. But one thing I do want to ask you, man, is how do you think? I mean, let's stick it to GCC right now because we're kind of making our way through. But how do you, man, think you did? Like, did you meet your expectations? You know what I'm saying? The expectations that other people had for you.
With me, I noticed that I did well from the teachers that were pushing me.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a coincidence that the teachers who pushed me were teachers from like a different background.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those African teachers, Asian teachers, they pushed me and they let me know like it's going to be harder for me in the future because I'm not of Caucasian descent. Do you understand? They let me know from early what my parents did, what my mum did. But it's good to know the teachers saw it as well.
Yeah.
And those teachers there, they pushed me. Like, for example, Mrs. Daniels, on the story, like, my predicted grade is like a D. And she pushed me so hard, like, because lunchtime, break times, extra work that I was doing with her, ended up with an A. So, with those kind of teachers, I think teachers, they're a lot in students' lives. I don't think they even realise how much what they say can affect us, you understand?
Yeah.
So, it's definitely those teachers there, they pushed me and I did well in those subjects.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna hop in on that point. You know, I never even deeped the. I mean, obviously I've deeped the role of teachers, but I never got deep the role of certain teachers, like on my education, because I know biology, fam. I wasn't failing, innit? I'm not the guy to fail, but to me a C is a fail, innit? So I was getting like C's in biology. I think I remember biology course I could got like a C in it, and then I had to redo the thing. And it was a thing where, bro, I was redoing it late, you know what I'm saying? Like, I hadn't handed it in. The deadline has passed, fam. And then Miss Shaw, you know, a teacher that I've never really, not that I never took her seriously, like, that's a bit rude, innit? But I never took her class seriously. I never really took biology seriously. And it was a thing where one day I go into her to tell her that I'm going to hand this thing in late. And she was like, Prince, you're better than this. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should be doing much better than this. Like, you joke around in class, but I've seen your grades in other subjects. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can definitely do this. I don't know why you want to be the clown. I don't know why you want to do this. You want to do that. Because now we used to mess around in Miss Shaw's class. I remember that one lesson that we were clapping, fam. You remember that lesson? We were clapping, yeah. And there was a thing where someone would just clap. Someone would just go. And it wasn't someone from across the class would go. And then, we just clapped the whole lesson. Obviously, we were just trying to be the last one to get caught, fam. I think we did that for a good 40 minutes, just straight clapping, fam. I can't even lie, just straight clapping. Yeah, so it was a thing where I never really took that lesson seriously. But it was a thing where she picked out that I was that clown. And it was a thing where she didn't even say much. But it's just a little that she did say. It was like conviction to me, fam. And it was even a thing where, even in Miss Daniels' class, I was kind of on the opposite side of it. But I was chilling with, I think you were there, to be honest. I think you were there. Where, you know the whole Lewis thing? Where she came and spoke to Lewis?
No.
Okay, I guess you weren't there then. I think it was me, Demi, Lewis. I think you were there, you probably just weren't listening. And there was a thing where we were just sat at the back of the class, Gee, how come Miss Daniels walk through, like she walks to our group here, and she talks past me. Like she talks past me and Demi and straight. Yeah, you're there. She walks, she talks past all of us and talks to Lewis. I said, Lewis, I don't want to misquote her in it, so I'm just gonna say roughly what she said. Not in her words, but she basically said, Lewis, why do you hang around with these people? You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
That would hurt me.
Yeah, as in Lewis he's mixed race, but obviously Miss Daniels will see him as black too. So it was a thing where, that's what I'm saying. It was nuts. Like she looked past us and she basically asked him, "Why do you hang around with these people? Like, these people are beneath you." You know what I'm saying? Because the thing where he wasn't too concentrated in class either, but it was just that happening. Like I felt so disrespectful, disrespected, and there was a thing where she is a black teacher, and bro, it hurt, fam. You know what I'm saying? Like, it hurt. I remember I didn't stop thinking about it. See that one there? I got a C in my physics coursework. I powered myself to an A in the final thing, innit? Because I got an A star in both exams, fam. Like, G, after that thing happened, I was like, nah, G, success is the only way right now, fam. But yeah, I want to just lead it back to the questions. Obviously, I'm beating out my grades now. How does everyone else think that their grades went, fam? Like, what subjects do you feel like you could have done better in? And if you went back, what would you change about those subjects? Because I want this to be a thing where if someone is listening where they haven't reached that point yet, then they can kind of take advice from this and kind of do better from here, like from people who have been through it. Because I'm a big fan of mentoring, you know what I'm saying? So if this podcast can be our mentoring experience with someone else, let it be that. So I would say, if you need to beat your grades, do it, fam. But yeah, even if you're proud of it, say something you're proud of. Because I spoke about my physics, I'm proud of that. So how do you guys feel that you did?
I'm not really proud of my grades, to be honest. I'm disappointed in my grades actually, because I was predicted from all the way from primary, I was predicted like the top grades. So when it came to secondary, I was predicted 8s and 9s. The highest grade I came out with was 6. I didn't fail anything, but I got like 5s and 6s the whole way through. And one teacher that pushed me was Miss Carter. She was a science teacher. Triple science, because I did triple science at the time. So I was messing about. Like, I was just chilling, just relaxing. Wasn't too focused. But in the lessons, I was completing all the work. I was like near the top of the class with all them top students. But then when it came to actually doing the test, I was just stagnant. I was getting 5s. Even though I'd never done triple science before year 11, I was just getting 5s. And she said, it's good, but it's not good enough. You need to do better. I said, cool. Kept saying I was going to do better. Didn't do better in the end, So I just kept going through, and then it came to a point where I was just becoming like unserious with the subject. So then she dropped me down to foundation instead, to combined science foundation, and said if you can't like before
big drop.
Before she dropped me down, she told me like pattern up basically. I still didn't listen. She dropped me down to there because she said there's no point you going and getting grade 5s the whole way through triple science, because then that's a risk of you going into the exam and failing possibly, or getting a 4. She said she doesn't want to see me do that. She said she'd rather let me do combined science foundation and just complete the whole paper, and I did, and I got 5s in both of them. So it was a thing where she might have pushed me too hard, but she definitely motivated me in my other subjects. So when I got dropped down to combined foundation, and then it came to the point where it was like it's past the deadline, like you can't change your subjects anymore. That's when I realized with my other subjects, okay, this is where I need to pattern up. So it was a thing where, because English, I remember so well in English, I didn't like. English was just one of them subjects I didn't like that. Like I liked the class,
You
but
did.
I love that English. I am studying a science degree and I prefer English.
I didn't like English. Like I liked the class, but I didn't like the writing and the tests and the exams. I just hated it. So it was a thing where in English, I remember well in November, I barely wrote in my English mock. I think I got a 1, or grade 1 or grade 2. I came out of the end of my GCSE with I think 2 high grade 5s. So what it was I feel like because of that individual science teacher pushing me more and making me do what I shouldn't have been doing, and actually dropping me down to combined foundation, I feel like in my other subjects it helped me do a lot better, especially geography as well, where I was doing grade 3s in the mocks, and then it came to the exam, got a grade 5, and just other subjects like that. Like, one teacher can have a big impact on you.
Yeah. I'd say with me, it was weird because in my like I said to you guys, with my high school, I was like, out of the guys, like my main group of friends, and even in the year, I was like one of the top guys. I was getting the best grades from year 9, innit? And I'm quite competitive, so because most of my friends were like ballers or they got girls, whatever, that was their thing. So the academics was my thing. So I wanted to keep hold of that. That's kind of what motivated me. Yeah. So, I always did quite well. I came out with pretty good GCSEs. But again, like none of my friends really were that academic. So I commend myself on that fact that I kept myself motivated. Like during the GCSE period, a lot of my main friendship group was playing PlayStation. They weren't really revising. So it was kind of like a one-man thing for me. But so I think I did quite well anyway. And then I came to to sixth form, and like I said, like it was kind of, I did well, but I wasn't crazy. So I think that humbling process was really, really good for me, to be around people that kind of challenged me and motivated me to do better. So I think it's important to have friends that, like, my friends didn't drag me down, but I think that's because of my own conviction. Like, yeah, they never distracted me, but they weren't like challenging me and wanted. I wasn't really like competing. It was just me and myself. Yeah.
No, I feel you. You know what? I can relate to that as well, because the sixth form I went to was a really good sixth form that was in Ellsbury, and like the people I was around, like, cause I had a similar position. I thought after my GCSEs I had done well. Like, I was basically like the top of my class for most things. And like once I got to sixth form, it was a humbling experience because everyone else was basically like either like as good as me or better than me. So it was a thing where it's like I now have to hustle with these man. And like, fam, throughout year 12 year, fam, I was literally like either middle of the class or like near the bottom in it. Like I was not doing well. These ones slapped me every single test. Another thing was like it was too competitive. It's just like obviously like that was their thing, isn't it? So yeah, man, like I definitely relate to that humbleness, like, because you have to. Even like now, like, I've just done my first year of uni in it, like, and when you get to uni, bro, like, you're gonna find people that from international students, and nerds.
I'm like, they don't go out,
bro. They're nerds.
They don't go out.
Like, when you don't see like cartoons, see nerds. These men are nerds. And
they don't go out, bro.
I'm trying to do that, fam. That's me, fam.
They bang the lectures. And then they go home, revise, they sleep in the library, and it's first year. We didn't even have exams this year, they were still banging.
It's a mentality, bro. It's actually a mentality. I'm trying to be that, bro.
It's different, fam.
I'm trying to be that.
Yeah, that's another thing, work ethic, like, I say, don't hold yourself to predictions. Because predictions are just predictions at the end of the day. Like I already said, from my experience, I did triple science, innit?
Yeah.
I already said that I was predicted a D, came out with an A. And the same with all my sciences, they weren't too high. I got higher than achieved, but I did hold myself to predictions. Because remember chemistry, you could notice the privilege that some students got. Like I remember I'd walk into the class, get my name in the bullshit away, I'm thinking,
I even forgot, fam.
Like them ones there. So I remember in chemistry, they was predicted a C. I came out with a C because I didn't really focus on that subject. I think, what's the point? Like, that's the best I'm gonna get.
If they're telling you you're dead at it, you'll be dead at it.
If you imagine getting told over and over again, that's all you're gonna get. That's all you're gonna get. Like, you're gonna soon believe that. But my advice is, it's down to you at the end of the day. Like, they're not going to be there with you writing the paper, do you understand? It's down to you, it's like your mentality.
That's facts.
True to say. Gee, when it comes to work ethic, Nathan, you wanna know what brought up my work ethic more than anything, fam? Target Oxbridge, fam. That thing brought up my work ethic. I mean, quick brief. Target Oxbridge is like a program. Think of it as like, I think it's sort of like Amos Bursary, you know. It's that sort of thing where they kind of guide you. It's like you have your own mentor. They help you with every single aspect of UCAS. And obviously it's aimed to, get you to Oxford and Cambridge. And obviously it was a thing where here in Luton, there's not a lot of black people I was competing with. You know what I'm saying? Gee, get to Target Oxbridge. Gee, why have I got one of the worst set of grades there, fam?
That's what I'm saying.
I was like, what? I was like, what is this, fam? I remember chatting to Gabby, and she said she got like, oh yeah, it was like I got like 9 A's and A stars. I said, I think she had even 9 A stars, fam. And then I spoke to Emmaus, and he had like 8 A stars. I was like, I swear. Like, these people really exist, fam. That really brought up my work ethic. After that residential, I came home and I worked, fam. I can't I came home and I worked, fam. But even sticking on the A level, because before that point, yeah, it was a thing where, I don't know if I've told this story on the podcast before, but I nearly dropped maths, fam. Like, as soon as I started A level maths, I nearly dropped maths, fam. I nearly dropped A level maths and further maths, fam. I could have been a guy sitting here today. I remember I planned it out, fam. I think I was gonna be doing computer science, accounting, and economics, fam.
Wow, you're gonna be. I know where you was going.
Gee, I
was get into one of them firms or something.
But yeah, man, that's what I was thinking, because it was a thing where I think it was the first month of maths, fam, and it was a thing where I was flopping, bro. The first topic was surds and indices. I don't know why I found it so hard, fam. I mean, it was a thing where, I fully forgot about this story, fam. Maybe I should talk about surds, because my education in surds was poor, fam. Even I say my whole maths education throughout high school was poor, fam. Because I can't lie, in year 7, I don't know why, yeah.
You started in that bottom set.
I started in like set 3 maths, fam. And it was a thing where this is half the year group, so it's like set 5 and 6 if you count the whole like year group. And there's a thing where I got a 5 in my sets, innit? But then, so I started in set 3, so obviously way below my level. Year 8 I was in set 2. Year 9 I moved up straight to set 1, yeah. But there's a thing where year 9 you do GCSE statistics, innit? So you don't really learn GCSE maths. You learn you do the other shit. So it's just like Spearman's rank and all that sort of stuff, like things that aren't GCSE maths. And then year 10, I got to. Obviously, I was still in year 1, and it's not year 1. I was still in set 1, and there's a thing where finally I'm doing good maths, but I've missed out that whole solid foundation of maths. So there's a thing where because there's certain things you learn in set 2 and 3. That you probably learn in year 10, that set 1s are learning like year 7 and 8. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't lie, I never learned circles, fam. Like, it sounds so stupid. I never learned circle geometry. I never learned most of geometry, to be honest. I never learned circles on graphs. I didn't know it was a thing in GCSE until it came up, fam. So yeah, it's a thing where, and even my year 10 and 11 teacher, he was more of that. He was more of the do rather than teach type of teacher. So it was a thing where he kind of just sets you work, and he'll set you a lot of work, and you make your way through it yourself. That's how it was. So when it came to A-level maths, I didn't know I had a bad foundation, because it was a thing where I'd gone through maths and got an 8. You know what I'm saying? I was expecting a 9, but I did end up with an 8. So it was a thing where I had high expectations for myself, but when we got to surds and indices, I never learned surds properly. I can't lie. So when we got to that topic, I was struggling, fam. And then it reached the point where I was even struggling in the further maths. And then I remember it was Mr. Martin. Mr. Martin came and he sat like 5 people in that A-level maths class down. And I'm looking around, and these are not my group. You know what I'm saying? These are not people my level, fam. Obviously, I'm a humble guy, innit? But I'm sitting with people that, they're far below me, fam. And I'm getting the same talk. He's saying, look, if you're not going to take this subject seriously, just quit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not even October yet. Just leave. Like, I can't lie. And there's a thing where I was struggling further maths too. So I'm thinking, maybe this isn't for me. You know what I'm saying? But then there's a thing where I think I was just walking home that day. And I was like, wait, what is this? Prince, this is your subject, you know. I can't even lie. This is actually your subject, fam. I remember because there was one test that we did. Yeah, I went home, I redid the whole test. No one even asked me to. I redid the whole test. I handed it in. I still flopped it. I did it again, fam. You know what I'm saying? I kept doing it until I got 100%, fam. And it was from there I bought that work rate. So it was a thing where work rate is actually everything, you know. Work rate is actually everything, fam.
That's a mad story, because when I met Prince, Prince at Cloud Oxford.
Yeah, bro.
And he was doing step. If everyone knows about step, step is nuts. So like, I always known Prince to do maths like that. I did maths and further as well, but Prince was a bastard. Prince was a maths
people hide from step, fam.
So hear that story, that's mad to see the questions.
And I've seen top mathematicians. I'm not going to beat out his name yet, but I'd say if you were to name top mathematician, you probably put him second, fam. And there's a thing where, if you look at the unis he was applying to, he didn't apply to Cambridge. He didn't apply to Imperial. And you're wondering why, fam. He didn't even apply to Warwick, fam. And you're wondering, right, those are like 3 of the top 4 maths unis. It's because he was hiding from step. He didn't want to sit it, fam. Yeah, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, so it's a thing where, they were hiding from step, fam. I was there patterning. I was doing step every single day, fam.
Yeah, I remember you come to study room doing beer. I was looking at this paper like, what's this, fam?
I can't lie. I think it even reached the point where step hurt my A levels, fam. But that's a story for another day. Now I definitely feel like step hurt my A levels. I didn't even end up sitting it. I didn't even end up doing it. But I was so ready for it. If I set a step paper today, I'll probably still bang it. But yeah, man.
Yeah, you know what it is, like, I just realised something. I always see it on the timeline every time it comes to A results day, GC results day. But if you guys know about a school called Brampton Manor.
Oh yeah.
Them lot are different breeds.
Tug Oxbridge, I met a couple. Like I know a couple Brampton Manor, man. Shout out to
different.
Shout out Brampton Manor.
Look at Brampton, yeah. You're still ending up at Imperial UCL.
Just say you went there,
bro. There is no flop at Brampton.
Bro, them lot, something's going on.
Shout out to Emmaus, fam. That's my guy. Goes Brampton and that.
that's the new Eton.
Jeez,
Yeah.
there's something
That's
going
the
on
Black
in that
Eton.
school.
I'm here for it.
No, I
That
can't
shows
lie.
you how much like when teachers can believe in black students and students.
Oh,
from
that's what I
every
mean,
minority,
yeah.
That's what students can do, fam.
Mm.
Or they got like 50 people going to Oxford and Cambridge. Like that could have been us. Do you understand? We had that black people in our teachers.
Yeah,
That's
so
what I'm
it
saying. I
is,
feel
yeah.
like we need to have them kind of schools, but not just in London, not just in one place.
It's true, you know.
But around the country, because that shows you like it's not the students' fault. It's
Yeah,
the teachers'
but you're right.
It's
Because
system.
really and truly, I know myself I had the potential to get to a Cambridge or Oxford, but I
It's
just,
insane.
like, and it's hard because when you say you never had the backing of the teachers or things like that, people will just call you lazy.
Yeah.
But it's not that simple. Like, people need to remember we're still
We're young,
growing.
fam, like,
We need nurturing.
we look at
we
them
need
like
guidance,
mentors.
mentorship.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that's fact. If we had like more than one Brampton, it's just one Brampton. Everyone's looking at it. If we had multiple of them, it was a normal thing. We wouldn't even need to be talking about black excellence because it would be the standard, 100%.
Like, yeah, it's true, man.
100%.
That should be
Yeah,
a standard,
honestly,
fam.
fam. I wish like if I had like a teacher with like Miss Daniels in all my subjects, I would have banged them up.
Wow,
easy, fam.
yeah, it's
I can't
true,
lie,
man, it's
because
true.
Miss Daniels was a word to me, fam. And when I saw that A, I didn't even believe it, fam. I saw that A, I was like, what? This is really me, fam. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't even know I could reach that potential, kind of thing. So yeah, man,
That's the thing about teaching. Some teachers do it because they can't. Not that they can't or that. They just don't want to do anything else. It's like a thing where they teach for the money. You know what I'm saying? They're not teaching for.
There's nothing.
Yeah, there's no passion there. They're not.
Most
You know what I'm
of
saying?
the
Some
majority.
teachers
Some
just
they
teach
don't even
'cause
want to
their
be
job.
there, fam.
It's true.
Some guys just they actually just do their job. Like they don't
what I'm
actually
saying?
they don't actually do it because they
Bare
want to get
minimum.
the grades. They just do it. They just do their job.
Bro, there was one A-level year, we came out of the exam and we saw our teacher as we came out of the exam, she walked straight past us. She didn't even ask how we did.
Say
We came
what?
out of the exam, she walked straight past us.
I didn't even know. That's crazy. You want to go collect the check, fam? That's crazy. But yeah, man. I mean, speaking about A levels and obviously uni, I just want to ask, how do you man feel like the past year was in your education, fam? Because I know COVID came and yanked your first year,
ruined
fam.
everything.
Yeah, yanked my freshers, fam. You man don't have to complain, fam.
I
But yeah, man, how do you man feel education was in the last year, especially with that whole Zoom period or however you were doing it?
Can't lie, for me, it was calm. I can't lie, like I enjoyed it, to be honest, because remember at the start of the year, I told myself I'm gonna work hard. Like I told myself I'm gonna work hard, do bare work at home. And that actually benefited me because while other people were struggling at home during the whole Corona period, trying to study, I was thinking, bro, like I've done this. You know what I mean? Especially because I did computer science before. I'm studying computer science now. Did it before. There was a lot of stuff that we did in the previous year anyway that kept me revising. So for me, it was calm, and I passed the exam with flying colours. So it was standard for me.
That's calm.
I'll be very honest. I get affected by my environment a lot, and on my course, I'm the only black person. There's a lot of international students in my department. I'm like one of 5 black people. I think I'm the only black guy. So, like, obviously, imposter syndrome comes into it. Like, things like that. It affected me, and I found it hard at times to like knuckle down how I know I can, and how I knew I should have. And also, there wasn't a lot of pressure because it was first year. You got people telling you, "Oh, first year's calm." There's the going out and stuff.
Yeah.
So I wasn't failing, but I was nowhere near
Your potential.
even touching my potential. So, but all that stuff. So I'm not gonna like. COVID kind of saved me because I haven't got like a grade for year one that I see, and it said that I can see disappointment. Like I done my capstone and passed it fine, going on to the second year. But I just know this year, this grind, I'm going hard.
Definitely.
I feel like for me as well, like when I stepped to uni again, like I felt I had a bit of imposter syndrome just because, like, again, like there were no black professors, there were no black tutors that were there. Luckily, there was another black guy in my course, but yeah, I mean, like it was just us two, I guess, and a lot of international students, a lot of top guys, like a lot of like obviously Anglo-Saxons. But yeah, man, like.
Anglo-Saxons.
That's a new one, still. That's a new one.
Yeah, fam. But yeah, you know, it's just a thing where like first time, I wasn't performing to my best, and again it was kind of like the jump from like the jump from GC to A level. Like you do well at GC, get to A level, you're not doing well. The same thing kind of thing.
Yeah, 100. I
And
thought.
then like I remember my tutor, basically my tutor, at my college. She came up to me like end of the first time. She was like, Nathan, like, what's going on? Do you understand? Like, you're obviously a bright guy. Obviously, I needed you. Like, what's going on? Why are you not performing? 'Cause everyone else was like doing alright, innit? And she came to me like once. She was like, oh yeah, is everything alright? Like your work you've been submitting has been like half done, like half-hearted kind of thing. And yeah, man, like, and the things we had like kind of mock exams after the break, so after Christmas. And she was like, oh yeah, so like try and make sure you work hard for those, innit? So when I came up from Christmas, I literally every single day I put like 5 or 6 hours every day. Obviously I took like Christmas off, but like every other day I was working. But yeah, my second time I just came out with different energy, came back working hard, and yeah, man, obviously like my grades were up still, but like yeah, I feel like sometimes when you get to uni, you gotta be careful. Like, don't get sucked in too much into like what's going on right now. Yeah, man, just
it's so
remember,
easy to get sucked in as well.
Yeah, just remember you're paid. Remember, you're taking out a loan.
Yeah,
government,
like you're paying for this.
Yeah, it's true. Don't feel like you're paying for it.
It's not like school and the teacher will like be after you or you're doing your homework. Like these lecturers don't really care for them. You know what I mean?
It is their job. That one is just their job, fam.
Yeah, but yeah, man, I've seen still my first year, but coronavirus, yeah, man, just came through. Impacted obviously, but I still had exams by the way actually.
Yeah, my exams.
I just had a little capstone assessment.
Fair enough. I mean, sticking on the whole COVID topic, you know, it's bare controversial what happened with the whole A levels and GCSE, where they end up giving them grades, and I just want to know how you man feel about that before I put in my perspective, which would probably differs to everyone else's. I can't lie. So what you man thinking?
I would say it's like, for me, was it the A levels on first, innit, where they had the everyone
results stays first, yeah.
Yeah, so I think A levels is the one where people are getting pretty bad grades, right?
Yeah,
like their predicted grades will be like B's, and then they'll get like D's in their results and things like that. And it's a thing where I'm not too educated on the way the A level result system works, so I wouldn't know. But it seemed like everyone was a bit like disappointed. But then on the other end, the GCSEs, everyone was like ecstatic because everyone was getting spectacular grades. But then, what I've seen from it is that like, if most people are getting good grades, are the grades really good? If everyone's getting a grade 6, yeah, like if there's, for example, gold, if there's a lot of gold, is the gold even worth that much?
Yeah.
As if there's only.
I'm not gonna lie, yeah. If like obviously with the A levels, at first they underestimated, and then when they say they fixed it and they just went with target grades and stuff, they kind of overestimated. If it was me, I would have hated that because I like to be better than that person.
You know what I'm saying?
So if you're telling me now that person I was in class with that I know wasn't working has just got the same as me like that,
because I know a lot of people who've told me their target grades were 3s. Like when I asked them before, like way before everything, they were like, yeah, target grades are 3 in most subjects, and then they've come out the exam with grade 5s and 6s and some with a couple 7s. It's like,
but you know, I think the problem is it sets a false expectation. Do you understand? Because a lot of people would have done well according to the algorithm with their predicted grades. Yeah, they're now gonna step to 6th form thinking, you know what, like,
or even uni, fam. Because you know Cambridge. Yeah, Cambridge this year they're accepting the highest number of students they've ever accepted, fam. I'm pretty sure it would be the same with Oxford and all the other top unis, fam. Because there's a thing where you got such a high. Because obviously with the predictive thing, obviously they end up fixing everyone's grades afterwards. But a lot of people are getting higher than they would have. You know what I'm saying? Disproportionately. Because Cambridge, Oxford, all these other high unis, they kind of give too many places out. Yeah. They give too many places out because they expect a whole lot of people are not going to get it. And there's a thing where this year,
they have to take them.
They have to take them. That's what I'm saying. When it comes to offer, you're contractually obligated to do it. And there's a thing where so many people reach the offer because, as in, an amount of people that shouldn't even be possible. Because if you know how A level and GCSEs are done, it's done to like a percentage based, innit? So like certain number of people get A star, certain people get A's. So there's a thing where for Cambridge and Oxford, it shouldn't have even been possible that this amount of people get in. You know what I'm saying?
Speak as well. Like I can speak for Oxford. Like basically the way Oxford works, like first year is technically it doesn't count towards your degree. It's actually like it's almost like another admissions test in the sense that like if you fail first year, like you can actually get kicked out of uni. Does that make sense? So like it's a thing where like you have to pass they call it preliminary exams, and that's what gets you onto the actual course. So like for example, Yeah, so like now because I passed what's called prelims, now I'm actually
You can actually go to your course,
course.
Now you're actually at Oxford, fam.
Yeah, so like, so it's peak for school. I mean, like, I don't wish like ill on anyone, but like, if for some man that maybe got the grades that they shouldn't have got, now they think they're better than they really are.
Wow.
And they get there and they realise
they're not performing that well. They could fail and then they could get dropped out of uni, get kicked out. That's the worst for them, innit? Like,
Because the jump's big, bro. Like, because obviously I know Twitter will make you think that there's more people out there than there is. But I was on Twitter, yeah, and you know how everyone does their thing. That's like, oh yeah, I got what 7 A stars and 3 A's. But I'm thinking to myself, and they're like, some of them were even saying, yeah, A levels easy coming next, and I'm thinking to myself, like, this is a jump, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I think it is very dangerous. The way they went about it, but
very,
it is the way they went about it.
very. I think as well, like, because remember A-levels as well. I'm sorry to cut you about that. So A-levels as well. They actually, the way they do it, because I looked at this quite a lot. The way they actually do and set A-star boundaries is also based off like how the cohort did in the GCSEs. So it's not just like, okay, like this many people got A-star, we're gonna give this many people. It's also they set the grade boundaries based on GCSE results. So say for example, like this cohort did very, very well. The grade boundaries for them are gonna go up. So it's gonna be even harder for them because their cohort is so good on paper. It's gonna make them think, okay, well this cohort is really smart, therefore we push the grade boundaries.
I didn't even know that part.
So it's like a quick fix, like a plaster on a bit of green, fam.
I'm saying it's going to be very peak for them. Like I just hope that and the thing is obviously like when you spent 6 months out of education as well, from March till now. Like,
that's the thing that would have affected me the most. That's what would have affected me the most, definitely. Because I need to be on it. I can't, like, even this extended COVID break, I know that going back to uni now, I'm going to have to really push myself at the start. Cause,
yeah, that's what I've been studying now, fam. Because I know if it was me, 6 months out, not doing no education, it's going to be tough getting back into it.
I mean, but yeah, so when it comes to, I'm just going to slap in my point of view now, is a thing where what I said and what I'd been saying since the beginning, because when lockdown struck, out of nowhere the government just said, because lockdown struck in March, innit? Out of nowhere the government said, yeah, can't lie, exams are cancelled. There's a thing where these exams were in May and June. You really didn't have to say anything yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really didn't have to say anything yet. You could have just had people revising this, that, the other, and then cancel it when you know more about coronavirus and that, like, in May or June times. But what I was even saying, I thought like they should have pushed back the exams.
I agree.
What I said, because it's a thing where if you look at us, the culture now, or even like how it was in August, you could have found a way to do those exams in August. Because uni is a thing where uni can start late, you know. Like uni doesn't have to start in September. Some uni start in October, and it's a common thing for some courses to start in January.
I think the problem with that is, obviously, like what the government, they have to plan ahead. So by the time they realise that they maybe could get these exams out the way, like in August or something, it was probably like maybe July or June or something. So they didn't have enough time to plan. And also with the uni thing, it can get pushed back, but uni still have a lot of they still have, like, they got to pay rent for some buildings they don't own and things like that. So I guess there's little nuances that we don't know about
True.
that might affect.
Nah, fair enough. I'd say I didn't think about that, but I feel like there's definitely ways around that.
You
know what I'm saying? The government have lended out money for other stuff. But but what I was saying, uni could have been pushed back, sixth form could have been pushed back instead of them, because even you said by the time they knew it was July. But I feel like, so then why cancel the exams in March? I feel like you just shouldn't have said anything about the exams, or just said they're under review or something. And then when May times or June times, then you have an actual plan. Because what I said, with the money that they were spending on other stuff, they really could have spent it on training invigilators. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a thing where the reason why you couldn't have the exams socially distanced was because there aren't enough invigilators for that. Because there's a thing where if you can spend this time training invigilators and sending random people to courses, because a lot of people lost their jobs during COVID. You know what I'm saying? Some people are redundant to this day, and there's a thing where they're claiming benefits, this, that, the other. Instead of spending that money on benefits, they could have spent that money on training, even free training, support for someone. Oh yeah, come for free, come train to be an invigilator, go out there and do it. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a thing where whatever the school is, there should be enough space to spread everyone. Let's say it's even 3 people per classroom, and get everyone get enough invigilators who have been trained for free and let them watch those exams. That's what I thought. I don't know if that's a good idea or what.
On that note, I agree with you, but on that note, we've got to remember, like, the government we have and how competent the government we have. Like, we kind of know that, yeah, it's hard to run a country, but these guys aren't doing an amazing job. So things like that you'd expect them to kind of think through and maybe not be so rash with. Like, I'm not surprised they didn't.
Fair enough.
So, yeah.
I think for me, it speaks to a greater issue in the British education system, and that is that we use predictor grades in the first place, and that we apply to university before we've sat exams.
Someone said that to me the other day.
Yeah, ridiculous.
And to my knowledge, like, there is no other like highly developed country in the world. Like, if you look at the States, you look at China, if you look at all these other countries where like their systems of education are like comparable to us. They always sit the exam before they apply to university.
You think it'd be common sense?
It makes sense. It actually does.
It makes much more sense for you to get your grades, know what you're capable of, and then
apply.
assess like what.
This is what I mean when I'm saying how competent. Like,
because again, it speaks to them because that way you can take the racism element out. Because if you're a black student and you know I can do well, then if you do well on your exam, then cool. Then you're gonna apply to the university.
Exactly.
But if you're getting teacher telling you, no, or Nathan, you can't get an A-star in maths because you're not really that good, and I'm predicting you certain grade below. Well, I could have got that grade if I had actually done the exam. But now I can't apply to the university because it's too late.
Yeah, and there's a thing where you're already out of competition when it comes to the uni you want, fam. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's true. Because you found out your predicted grades. I found out mine in October. So there's a thing where if I got dead predicted grades in October, I would have been out of the running for a Cambridge or an Imperial or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's something I never even thought about. I did have that conversation with someone the other day though, but yeah, nah, I can't lie. I actually never thought about that. Like applying after. Because probably one reason that we apply so early is to get student finance sorted and stuff like that. But there's a thing where you put on the form what uni you want to go to in the student finance thing. And then even if you need to change it, you change it in like a day. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't take long to change that. So it's a thing where even if it's a thing where the uni needs to be prepared, the uni wouldn't need to spend so long on admissions and all of that if they had a straight grade already, if they weren't dealing with predicted grades, if they didn't have to go through interviews and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? They'd have a lot less applications too. Yeah, that's true. Nah, we really should be applying afterwards, man. I never even thought about it like that, man. Nah. But with that being said, I feel like if no one else has any other topics to throw out there, I think we've had a good episode, lads.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I can't lie. Everyone, I hope you're doing well in education. Stay motivated, fam. You know what I'm saying? There's many things you could do. There's a lot of side hustles, but make sure you focus on that main hustle of education, bro. You don't know how far that will take you. You never know how far that will take you.
Mentality goes a long way.
That's the thing. Mentality goes a long way, fam. There's always enough time for education, man. I can't lie, man. It's important. But yeah, see you, man, later.
One love.
Thanks for listening, man.